I will tell you a bit about Hanukkah. Hanukkah is a celebration that the Jewish people celebrate. It's a celebration of light. And it tells the story of rededication, purification of the temple. Old temple that stood in Jerusalem. This is Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the capital city of Israel. And it's sometimes known as the city of gold. The city of gold. Say, Yerushalayim shel Zahav. The city of gold, because when the sun sets in Jerusalem, and when the sun lays on the brick, on the big stone, it does look like gold. Red goldish color. Sometimes even when you go inside buildings, look, it looks like gold inside. The whole city is made of bricks. In Jerusalem, some 2,500 years ago, stood the Jewish temple. It's called Bet HaMikdash. Bet HaMikdash HaSheni. You see the year? 2,500 years ago, there was a temple in Jerusalem. The Jewish temple was the soul of Jerusalem, of all of the city of Jerusalem. And people would come from all over the country to celebrate. At least once a year, you had to come to Jerusalem. Even if you lived up north, once a year, it was a good deed, a mitzvah, a good deed, to come all the way to Jerusalem and celebrate. And so, the structure is really interesting. Can you just imagine what the structure, the shape of the building means? The shape of the building is based on a lion. Can you see that? Can you see the lion with the big mane, the big crown around him? That's the head of the lion, and this is the head of the lion right there with the big crown. That's the body of the lion. That's because the lion is the king of all the animals. And Bet HaMikdash, the temple, Bet HaMikdash HaSheni, that stood 2,500 years ago in Jerusalem, was the temple for God. And God is the king of all human beings. So the temple was the soul of Jerusalem. Later on, we will make this pop-up Bet HaMikdash. I will give each child, you're going to get this template, and you see, when you open it, Bet HaMikdash will show up. 3D pop-up Bet HaMikdash. We will all make it. Bet HaMikdash in Jerusalem. If you go to the temple right there, so you walk, see all these little people, if you walk up here and you enter there, you go inside over there, you will see a big hole. That's what you see inside the temple. Look at that. That's a massive, massive hole. At the back, you see it says Holy of Holiest, Kodesh HaKodashim. That was the real structure of Bet HaMikdash, by the way. That's how it was 2,500 years ago. There was this red curtain. This curtain, look how big it is, like 20 meters high. Red curtain, and behind the red curtain, I can't see, but behind was Kodesh HaKodashim, the Holy of Holiest. That was the most sacred space in the Jewish tradition. Nobody could go inside. It was so sacred, so special. Only the high priest, Kohen Gadol, he would sometimes go inside. So the Kohen Gadol, look, he's wearing something really interesting, an interesting jewelry. 12 gems, 12 stones. So there's 12 gems that he was actually wearing here. And each stone represents one tribe of Israel. So in Israel, we had 12 tribes, the 12 sons of Israel. And each stone represents one tribe. And the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, he would wear it. He would actually wear it inside Bet HaMikdash. And you see here, he is standing next to this menorah. This menorah, it's a big candelabrum. It's like 2 meters high. It's like higher than me. And you know what it was made from? Yeah, what it was made from? Gold, you said? You're right. This was solid gold. Solid gold means that it was made only from gold, nothing else. There was nothing inside of it. And the 12 tribes, each tribe gave some gold. And they made this menorah, this Chanukiah. It's called Chanukiah or menorah, from the gold that all the Jewish people, the sons of Israel, gave. A pure menorah from gold. And they didn't have candles like we have today. They used oil. They would pour the oil inside, they had wick, and they would use oil to light up this candelabrum, this menorah. This is the symbol of the modern state of Israel. It is probably based on a plant which is found in Israel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 branches only. Today we have 9. Then we only had 7. We'll tell you later why. And so the Kohen Gadol, the high priest with his jewelry, he would dedicate or he would bless the oil, specific oil, he would bless it, and only that oil which he blessed, they would use every day to light up this candelabrum, this menorah. Later on, we will make this Chanukiah. I have a template somewhere here. This is so cool. This is Chanukiah, which is made from this card that we will actually fold. I will fold it with you. And pegs. See? Pegs. I've got some pegs here. Washing pegs. So, for many, many years, the Jewish people, they were under the rule of the Greek Empire, the great Greek Empire. And the Greek Empire was a good empire. They allowed people to practice their religion with no problem for many, many years, until the Greek Empire broke into different states, many different states, and they started to fight with each other. And one state is called Assyrian. Assyrian was next to Israel, and they had a ruler called Antiochus. Antiochus, he wasn't very clever. He forced people to practice different religion. I don't know why, but he did not give them the freedom to practice what they want. And so Antiochus sent his soldiers around the year of 200 BCE, so some 2,200 years ago, into the temple, into the holy Beit HaMikdash, and he put a big statue, and he said to the Jewish people, you have to pray to that statue. Jewish people do not pray to a statue, to stone. They don't pray to stone because God is bigger than anything, bigger than stone. God is all of us together. So, what the Jewish people did, because they didn't allow them to study Torah, to study their religion, what they did is to study Torah, to study the Jewish book in hide, when they were hiding, and when the Assyrian soldier of Antiochus will come up, they will use this svivon, and they will pretend that they are playing. All the children will take the svivonim, and they will pretend that they are playing the svivon, so that they could actually practice their faith, their religion. Antiochus said, I don't like this, so he went into the temple, into Beit HaMikdash, and you know all the oil they used to light the menorah? He destroyed it. All the oil he took and he broke it, and he made a lot of chaos inside Beit HaMikdash, until this group of people stood up. A small group of Jewish warriors called Maccabim. Have you heard of the Maccabim? Maccabim, yes. It says mi in Hebrew, mi kamocha ba'elim. That's the meaning of the name, Maccabim. And this Jewish group, Maccabim, they fought back. They said, we're not going to let you destroy Jerusalem. But how can a small group of people fight a massive army? A small, tiny group. Only a few thousand fighting this big army. There's no chance, no way they could win. But then a miracle happened. The Maccabim had a little special thing by which they could win. It's called Hanukkah lightsabers. See, the lightsaber. I've got a few lightsabers. Have you seen anything like that? It's a Hanukkah lightsaber. They took the lightsaber and they whoosh it like that. And they whoosh it like that. And sometimes they actually had two. She had two of these. And when the Assyrian soldier came, she went like this and like that. And each time she was going like this or like that, she flicked the light, and the light scared all the Assyrian soldiers, and they ran away. And that was the first miracle. And she went like this. Oh, can you do like that? Look, like that, and like that, and like that. And each time she was flicking the light. That's why we say the celebration of light over darkness. That was the first miracle of Hanukkah. So when they managed to drive away the Assyrian Antiochus off from the temple, that was the first miracle of a small group managing to drive away the big group of soldiers. And so today we use svivonim, those svivonim spinning toy that the children would use, and we have letters on them. The letter says, a big miracle happened there. Nes gadol haya sham. Shams mean there. If you're in Israel, the miracle happened where you are, not Sham. It happens here in Israel. So you say Nes gadol haya. What's the last letter? Po. Po. You got extra donuts. Po means here. If you're in Israel, a big miracle happened here. This is the first known event where a small religious group fights for its religious emancipation. The earliest known story where the group say, we don't care, we want to practice our own faith. That's why Hanukkah is so important. Later on, we will give you a svivon, spinning toy, made from marshmallows. And you can choose which letter you want, one letter, and Natalie will draw the letter for you and she will give it to you. After the Maccabees drove the Assyrian Antiochus soldiers away, they went back to the temple and they couldn't find anything. But there was a little child who was, I think, 5 years old. How old are you? 10. So she was a bit younger than you. And she crawls, and under the staircase, she finds only one single oil jar left. Everything else was desecrated, it was broken, but there was only one which was sealed with the sign of the Kohen Gadol, which means that it was pure. They find the menorah, they found it, they cleaned it, they put it back, they used the oil, but the oil would last for only half a day. They went home and they say, oh, never mind, the light would not last. But they came the second day and still the light stood 2 days. Now this oil should last for 1 day, but it lasted for 2 days. So they cleaned the menorah, they cleaned the temple, Bet HaMikdash, and they went home and they said, oh, never mind, it will not last for any longer, but 2 days is good. They came the next day, 3 days, the light stood. This little oil was still consuming. The light was burning for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. After 6 days, what do you think happened? After 6 days, when they came back to Bet HaMikdash, what happened, Natalie? Still burned. The light still burned. 7 days, 8 days. 5, 6, 7, 8 days, the light stood. And that was the second miracle of Hanukkah. A little jar of oil that should last for 1 day stood for 8 days. Then they could find more oil. 8 days, if you put 8, the number 8, on the side, it represents eternity. This is the symbol of eternity, of continuation, of ongoing. And that was the second miracle. That is a menorah in Jerusalem today, real life, standing behind the ruins of Bet HaMikdash, of the temple. Whatever was left, that's what left in Israel. And because the miracle was 8 days, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 branches to represent the 8 days. There's another one, 9th. The 9th is the Shamash, the service. So originally we had only 6, 7. Now we have 9. We added another one, another day of party. That's why. Later on, I will project this, and you will help us to light the menorah, this menorah. Each child, are you a child, Yael? So you might get one. I've got this, and this is for you can take home. And I've got this, you can take it home. This is so cool. Look what we've designed. That's why we study graphic design at the university. You're holding this, and if you click, look at that. And you'll have to put it in the right place later on, okay? Each child will have to put it, and then one will be the shamash. So you will help us to light the menorah. Another miracle that happens in Hanukkah is the many spellings of Hanukkah in English. The list goes on and on. I must admit, this is my invention. Nobody uses it in this country, but that's how I use it. So all the spellings are correct because it's Hebrew, it's transliteration, apart from one spelling. Can you guess? There is a hint. Who can guess which spelling is not right?
The third one from the top down, because there's a red line at the bottom.
Yes, so Yael picked on this is just to show you how Microsoft PowerPoint Dictionary is powerful. It did recognize all of the spellings, a part of this which is my spelling, so I went and I added it to the dictionary, which means now Microsoft knows that this is also correct. But do you see the one at the top there? You see the double N? That's the one which is not correct. Everybody else has one N. So that's, you were very close. So you can spell it with a CH or with an H or with a K or 2K. And it's all correct. And that is the third miracle that nobody will tell you. It's a secret. Don't share it with anyone. There's so many spelling. And because it was a miracle of oil, it was a miracle about oil, we're eating sufganiyot, donuts like this, which I went to Asda today and I couldn't find in Asda. So we're going to have an alternative. Nothing to do with sufganiyot. This is a biscuit, chocolate biscuit. No relation whatsoever to sufganiyot, but it looks good. In Hanukkah, it's a celebration of oil, the miracle of oil, and therefore we eat food that was made with oil, like sufganiyot and also potato latkes sometimes that we are baking. We have chocolate coins, reminding children about charity, to give charity, and we play the Svivon game. In this holiday, you see the Hebrew prayer at the top. It's going to sound funny. Do you want to hear it in Hebrew or in English? Who wants to hear it in Hebrew? Me. Okay, who thinks they will understand it in Hebrew? 1, 2. Okay, so the basic of the Hebrew prayer is two things. Al Hanisim here at the top, which means the miracles, and Al Haniflaot, which means the wonders. In Hebrew at the top it says, thank you God, Al Hanisim, Al Gvurot, Al Teshuot, Al Haniflaot. Thank you God for all these things you have done, that you have carried in those days. Those days mean 2,000 years ago. And it says at the end, at this time. Those days at this time. Those days 2,000 years ago, at this time, meaning 25 of the month of Kislev, the Jewish month of Kislev. This time meaning around December, start of December. And then there's a question, what's the difference between miracle and wonder? Why do we thank God for both the miracles and the wonder that he carried for our forefathers? Miracles in Judaism, Al-Hanisim. Al-Hanisim means all the natural functions of nature. Nature is miraculous. The fact that leaves fall in winter is not just by accident. We believe that it is a miracle. We believe that God governs it through science, but God governs science. So we call it a miracle. So we thank God for all the miracles that he performed. Also, we thank God for the wonders. Wonders mean our ability as human beings to appreciate the miracles. Some people don't appreciate the miracle. They think it's natural, whatever happens there. But we say it's wondrous. We have the ability to be inspired by the miracle. And we thank God for both those miracles and those wonders. Now, let's do some art activities, yes?